Hello everybody and welcome back to Bring Your Own Popcorn. So today we are off to the cinema again. I'm with Mum. Say hello, Mum.
Hi.
She's too busy driving. We're off to see, I know we're a bit late to the party, but Thor, Love and Thunder. I'm really excited for this one. I loved Ragnarok. I thought Ragnarok was great, directed by Taika Waititi, same director as this one, so I'm really excited. He also done Jojo Rabbit, which I've got a review for on the channel if you want to check that out. Loved that film. Yeah, I'm just really excited for it. He's got a very unique sense of humour and brings definitely a different style to the MCU. So I'm really excited. We're just leaving for the cinema now. We've got a 10:40 showing, so really early for a Saturday, but oh well. And I'll tune back in when we're at the cinema. Okay, I know you can hardly see us, but that's us seated for Thor Love and Thunder. We've got the cinema to ourselves. You can't see anything, it's just a black hole. You excited, Mum?
Yep.
So you'll see my reaction when we come out, my first time reaction to it. I'll film a wee bit when I just come out the cinema, and then you'll see my full review after it. Let's do it.
I just want to say that was very, very impressive what you did back there.
It's just my first bad guy.
You never forget your first.
You are not like the other gods of kill.
Because I have something worth fighting for.
Okay, so just out of Thor, Love and Thunder, Mum, thoughts?
Not so good as all the rest of the Thor movies, I don't think. A 6.
Even,
But I'll give it a 6.5 because the music was good.
see, you've only seen, like, Thor the Dark World and the first Thor, and even Ragnarok once.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than Thor the Dark World. Thor the Dark World was low tier.
Can't really remember much about that one.
Christopher Eccleston's in that one? No. And I would say it's better than Thor, but I wouldn't say it's as good as Ragnarok. I enjoyed it. I agree with you, not the best Marvel movie in the world, but not the worst.
Not the worst.
Okay, so you'll see my full review right after this. Okay, so Thor, Love and Thunder. I was really excited for this one. Really, really excited. I know we were a bit late to the party. It's been out for a good few weeks now. Might have even been in cinema for a month. I can't actually remember when it came out. So we're really late to the party with this one, but I was still really excited. We just never got round to it. I like going to these films with my mum because she really loves the Marvel cinematic universe as well. So I always try to go and see them with her. But we finally got time to go see it together, and yeah. It was pretty good. As I said, it's nothing special for me anyway, but it's nothing terrible either. I had a pretty fun time with it. It actually ranks in the middle. So there's 34 Marvel properties in the MCU, which I've seen. There's 35 of Miss Marvel, but I've not watched that yet. 34 Marvel properties, and this ranks at number 17 for me. Bang smack in the middle. So it is the most middle of the road MCU film for me. But let's talk about what I liked. The direction was pretty much pitch perfect. Taika Waititi directs this film with sheer eloquence, in my opinion. It's like he's not even trying. Well, that sounds like a bad thing. He can do it with such ease, is what I'm trying to say. Every film that I've seen from him is just directed phenomenally. Phenomenal? Is that even a word? Fantastically. That's a better word. Fantastically. It's just absolutely phenomenally directed. Absolutely incredible. I've invented that word. See if phenomenally isn't a word, I have now created it. It's just pure brilliance. Is his direction. There's a sequence in the film that is in black and white with small pockets of colour that just looks fantastic. The colours really pop. The cinematography is excellent. The direction was just spot on. As for his writing, I wasn't as big of a fan. So I've since realised that he did not actually write Ragnarok, and it really shows, in my opinion. It's like he was trying to capture Ragnarok twice, lightning in a bottle twice, basically. And I think he needed to do something a bit more different than what he did. It does feel like your generic sequel, even though it's the fourth Thor film, your generic sequel to Ragnarok. There are some sequences that are extremely similar to Ragnarok, basically saying the same joke again, which is what a lot of comedy films do. Think of The Hangover Part 2, literally the same film as The Hangover Part 1, in a different country. This is pretty similar to that in some aspects. A lot of the jokes didn't land for me. Ragnarok is actually one of my favourite MCU films in terms of writing, and that is because it's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious, like rolling off your seats laughing in places, but it still has those kick-ass, badass moments, which is what you look for in a superhero film. And this film, whilst it had some kick-ass moments where I was like, oh, I loved that, there wasn't a lot, and also the jokes fell flat for me a little bit. I didn't laugh too much. I laughed out loud probably about 5 times, if I were to round it. I laughed out loud probably about 5 times, which isn't a lot for the amount of jokes that they tried to do in this film. And they also seemed to have a bit of an issue with timing. They'd have a really serious scene, and I think the emotion was handled really well in this film. The emotional moments that Taika tried to hit, he hit well. But then you'd have a scene directly after that, or even in the same scene, of characters making light of it or making a joke about it. I won't get into what because of spoilers. It just didn't sit well for me personally. I just didn't laugh a lot, and it felt there was a bit of a timing issue with some of the placement of the jokes. So yeah, but as I said, see the emotional moments that he tries to hit, he hits them well. I felt emotional a good number of times during this film. And he writes these characters with brilliance, sheer brilliance. I think that Thor is possibly one of the best characters in the entire MCU, and this film expands on him very well. I would have liked to have seen a bit more of a different kind of character, I guess. We basically get the exact same character we got in Ragnarok, which isn't a bad thing because I love that character. But the way his character does develop throughout this film, and especially at the end, is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. We've also got Natalie Portman back as Jane Foster in this film. She was fantastic. Gave probably the best performance in this movie for me, and her best performance of Jane Foster. Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie. Great, love to see her back. She's such an epic character. She's just amazing. And then we've got Christian Bale's Gore the God Butcher. I'd heard a lot of hype over this villain, and I think Christian Bale nailed it. He basically nails any performance he goes for. Nailed this one. He was intimidating, but also had a lot of emotional moments that he pulled off really well. So I thought all the acting was brilliant, and the soundtrack was kick-ass. I loved the soundtrack. Again, at parts they were possibly trying to once again catch lightning in a bottle twice with Ragnarok, but I thought the soundtrack was great. The scene, because I can obviously talk about stuff that was in the trailer, so you know the Guardians of the Galaxy are in it. It was fun to see them for the little they are in this movie. They aren't in it for a long time. Probably 10-15 minutes, and it was fun to see them, and it got me really excited for Guardians Volume 3, which is out next year. But yeah, I did have a good time with this movie. As I said, the direction's phenomenal, and the acting was really good. The story overall was good. It's just the way it was told wasn't for me. A lot of the jokes didn't land, and yeah, I just felt if they maybe got the writers of Ragnarok back instead of Taika taking it over, we would have got a better film. Overall, I'm going to give Thor: Love and Thunder a 7 out of 10. Not a bad film by any means. Is it one of my favourite MCU movies? No. As I said, 17th out of 34 Marvel properties, bang smack in the middle of the ranking. So, if you want to read my full written review for Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder this one is. I've got Ragnarok on the brain because it's the better film. If you want to read my full review for Thor Love and Thunder, it's on my letterbox right now. Click below. You can go there. I post loads of reviews all the time there, fully written reviews, paragraphs long. So if you want to check that out, I'd be really appreciative. Also, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Really helps the channel out. Share this video with friends and family if you think it's good. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.